Hey guys, it's Daryl. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's 3:30 a.m. and this is all just off the top of my head. I was trying to remember what I wanted to make a video on today. I wanted to make one on my goals, or just goals in general, because I'm talking to you guys. As you can see, I'm an artist and I'm working hard on working smart on trying to progress and sell my artwork and just become as successful as possible. I just enjoy. I love painting. I've always loved drawing and all that. And I love creating is what I love doing. Another thing I want to do is I want to write a book, an autobiography. I've seen it probably about at least four times, like on Dr. Phil and then maybe on Oprah years ago. I see other people in recovery that have written books that are guests on their shows. People just like me. And I listen to their stories, and they're very similar. But to be honest, I've got quite a story. And I'm sure if these guys could be successful with their stories, then I could be just as successful and help as just as many or more people with the shit that I've been through, to put it bluntly. Just to sum it over quickly, I had a great dad, a man's man, taught me to box, taught me to fish, hunt. He's got brain cancer, terminal brain cancer, when I was about 8.5. Died 6 months later. A terrible, horrible death that I watched as they tried to. I just wanted to let him be at peace at the end when he died. He had crayon marks. He had marks on his markers on his bald skull where they were going to cut into his skull next. He had lost all. He didn't look like himself anymore. The worst thing is, as he deteriorated quickly, he didn't recognize me anymore. At 9 years old, it's kind of tough when your father doesn't recognize you, who you are anymore. And I remember he swung at my mom. He had never hit a woman in his life, so he wasn't my father anymore. And doctors whisper. They think little kids can't hear them. And yeah, I heard a lot. I heard more than I wanted to. I heard them call my father a vegetable. I freaking hate that term. A human being is not a fucking orange or a potato or a tomato. A human being, that's my father. I hate that term. Um, I remember hearing my mom talk about how the money was running out, how his sick pay was running out. Um, and I'm worrying about at 8 years old. I'm worrying about shit that grown adults worry about. Um, it was heavy stuff. My mom was the best mother in the world. She became at like 28, she became everything. Looking as a kid, I had no idea, but now that I'm an adult, I look back and I'm like, oh my god, my mother was a freaking hero for raising me and my sister and being both the mother and the father, and then going back to school, getting a job, getting a solid career. Amazing woman. And this is the thing too. I've learned to look at everything. It's like I've told you guys before. It's all how you look at it. My mother, we go to lunch every week and we talk, and she's like, "I wonder what would happen if your dad had still been alive. Would you have gotten into drugs?" And I believe I would have. And I don't like when she says that, because I could sit here and say, "Poor me." I lost my father. This is why I got into drugs. This is why. Well, I could blame every negative thing in my life on that. I don't. I blame. I think it's. I look at it as all the positive things that came out of it. Yeah, the positive things of me losing my father. It made me to grow up, become a man at 9 years old. I made another video on how my dad was a gun collector, and I learned to shoot shotguns at 5 6 years old. He had a loaded Mossberg 12 gauge slugger and a loaded double barrel Antonio Zoli over and under shotgun, loaded in the bedroom at all times. And he taught me to shoot. He says, "You know what this gun could do? Are you ever going to touch it?" I said, "No, sir." And it was always loaded after my dad died. And one night, a car pulled up full of kids. I thought they were going to break in the house, and my mother was panicked. My little sister was in bed. She's only 4 years old, and it was up to me to go get the gun. at 9 years old. I thought they were going to break in, and it became a very real possibility that I was going to have to kill people coming through the door to protect my family at 9. So yeah, but that made me a stronger man. It was it was not, it wasn't something I'd wish on any 9-year old, but it made me stronger. And then especially, I tell my mother how growing up, I learned how to be a man in those 9 years from my father. Boxing, left, left, right, left, left, right, uppercut, left, left, right, uppercut. We used to box. He bought me boxing gloves. He took me hunting, fishing, everything. And then I learned how to be a man from my mother and my sister, from women, and that was a huge plus looking back, because I learned how to relate to women. I'm comfortable around women. I'll be honest, I'm more comfortable around women than I am around men. And no, I don't want to knit or crochet or any shit like that. I'll be honest. I enjoy flirting with women. I enjoy interacting with women. I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed. I love kidding around and joking and flirting. I'm very comfortable at it. And this has been nothing but a plus. Plus, I learned, the basics. I have never, ever in my life touched a woman, put a finger on a woman. To be honest with you guys, I could not do it. A woman, first of all, I learned violence has no place in any relationship. Luckily, my mother and my father, when my father was around, there was nothing but love. And anyway, and if there was even if a woman just hit me and I wasn't sure if it was kidding around, I'd be gone. I'm not going to get hit, and I'm not going to hit anybody. That's just unacceptable in any relationship. So I learned to respect women. I'm comfortable around women. I see guys these days. I watched a show last night, According to Jim, and then I watched another show, Home Improvement. And I watch these guys. I love the show According to Jim with Jim Belushi. And they overdo the man thing. Like, and you see these other guys with cigars, and and it's all about sports and smoking cigars and being a man and having the women do the women's work. And I can't relate to that. That looks just ridiculous to me. I think, to me, I look at some guys, they just don't have a clue when it comes to women or when it comes to being a man. Maybe I just don't understand it, because I did interact with women. Like I said, I look at this as a plus. Like I said, I could look at it's all how you look at life. Like I said, I could have blamed everything in my life on losing my father, but I look at it as a plus. I became a man. I learned how to interact with women. I learned a lot of things that a lot of men will never learn in their entire lives. I learned how to treat women. I learned how to interact with women, and it's been nothing but a plus for me. If you look on my Facebook page, I got about 400 friends, and about 350 of them are women. See, here's the thing. To be honest with you guys, I just don't. I'm not a. I don't. I see no point in interacting with other men. I'm not a man's man. I don't hang out with other guys. I don't see any purpose in it. Other than networking, like for my artwork and stuff like that, business, when it comes to business, fine. But when it comes to socializing, I just enjoy flirting or interacting with women. I do, because I enjoy that interaction. I'm not big on having guy buddies. I don't know. It works for me. Or I saw this on TV. There was a court show on yesterday. This guy, I'm not going to mention nationalities because I don't believe it's a white or black thing. But I think in some cultures, even white guys, some white cultures, that that you're more of a stud the more women you have. And I don't subscribe to this. I cheated on a good woman when I was a good girl when I was like 16, 17. And to this day, I still regret it. Fucking around, having side pieces, as they're called. I do not understand that, man. This guy on TV had multiple girlfriends and a wife. And to me, that's just, Why would you do that to yourself, first of all? Because for me to have a good relationship, it requires all of my energy. It requires all of my focus. It requires, if it's a good relationship, it requires all of my sexual energy. And believe me, man, I'm not lacking in anything in the sexual energy part. I got plenty. But if you got a good relationship, it's going to take all of your energy. It's just, I guess it's having a good relationship and just having a good interaction with women. Maybe this guy just doesn't, I don't know. Maybe he can only interact one way with one woman. He needs another woman to interact with for another, for sex, one for friendship. I don't know. For me, all I can handle is one woman. And that's all I need. I'll be totally honest. For me, as I matured, like with intimate relationships, I mean, if you do it right and you got the right woman, man, I couldn't handle a second woman. I wouldn't want a second. I don't understand that. To me, it's like you're putting yourself, you got one good relationship that's taking everything, that's giving you everything you need and taking everything you have in return in a good way. How could I possibly take on another relationship? To me, I don't want to equate it to having multiple jobs, because a relationship isn't a job. But like I said, everything I have is going into this one relationship. I don't know how they do this. I don't know how or why they take on multiple relationships. And on top of that, how do they keep the truth straight? In recovery now, like I've told you guys before, I don't go anywhere that I have to lie about. I don't do things that I have to lie about anymore. I really don't. I'm no saint, but I just don't. I don't go places or do things that I need to cover up, that I need to be ashamed of. And lying is not easy for me anymore. I don't know how these guys could possibly look at a woman they love in the eye every day and lie to them. I don't know. And then again, hitting women. I don't, to me, that's the low, is the lowest, for, you're not a man. You're not, you hit a woman, you're not a man. And the worst thing, when the guys say, oh, she knows how to push my buttons. Don't give me that, man. Do not give me that. You're to blame. If you're allowing somebody to push your buttons, it's an excuse and you're to blame. I don't want to hear that shit. She knows how to push my buttons. That is crap. I can't. Unfortunately, my time is running out already. I've been having a bit of a memory problem here. I'm coming up on 13 minutes now, so I'm probably going to run out of time soon. I didn't think I'd have this much to say. I'm going to make a part 2. So I enjoy sharing this with you guys. Like I said, the point here is I'm not saying that I'm more of a man or less of a man, or I'm not comparing myself. I'm saying how it is with me, and I tell you guys what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I'm not good at telling other guys what to do. I see some other motivational speakers on here going, you got to do this. You got to say this to yourself. And that's good for them, but that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm going to tell you guys what I do, what works for me, and what doesn't work for me. And what you do with that information is up to you. You could laugh at it. You could put comments that say I'm an idiot and move on. Or you could take my advice, or you could check it out and then think it's bullshit. Whatever, man. It's whatever you do with it is what you do with it. I'm telling you the truth. Now, one thing here, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like I've told you guys, I'm not a liar. I'm not good at lying. I don't lie. So what I tell you guys is the truth. Probably too much of the truth, to be honest with you guys. But anyway, look for part 2 because I got a lot more to say. All right, you guys have a good Thursday. Stay clean and sober.